Galamsey conversation is very interesting now, because I remember keenly getting to the close of last year. We would sit here and the tone of the argument was, it seems to have been turned upside down now. I'm quite happy that Gabriella has taken the path of honesty with all of this.
Hi, great people of Ghana. It's a Nigerian God pleasure bringing you political news in our channel, Ghanatube. As always, we are always here to give you all the happenings in Ghana. As we already know that the parliament, the judiciary, everyone is working hand in hand, including the president of the nation and the vice president of the nation, President John Dramani Mahama, and Vice President Prof. Jane Nano Poko-Ajima, has actually committed everything to make sure that Ghana is actually very, very booming and wonderful. Please.
I am also beginning to like the approach the NDC is taking, that now they are realizing that this Galamsey problem is endemic and it's not as simple as MPPs mining and destroying your water bodies, because that's the perception that they tried really hard to push. If we are being honest, Galamsey did not start in this country in 2017. In fact, it was such a problem that when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa was coming into office, he decided that it was one of the things he wanted to tackle head on. So let's not sit here or try to create the impression that Galamsey started in 2017. It had been there. It was a problem that almost all governments try to solve, and they don't seem to be able to come up with any cogent solution, and they leave and go.
But the most licenses were issued in your regime.
Yes, again, we'll come to that. How do you want to say the most licenses were issued under a regime, and so that's a problem? Now you people want us to believe that there's a difference between legal mining and illegal mining. So what is wrong with licensing people so you can keep them in the regulatory brackets? If now we are being honest to say that not everybody mining is doing Galamsey, then that's arguments. When I don't know how, sometimes I can understand that you sit down around the table and you decide, how do we go about this Galamsey conversation? Because I see all your assigns on social media talking about these licenses. What does that have to do with your ability to solve the problem? That's why you were voted. That's why you were voted. That's why you said a few things about solving it, and honestly, I just went
the ability to the correlation between the two of solving the problem is when you have a lot of licenses giving out, you have a larger problem to deal with. It means
that's
that
not true.
The margin of error will be big.
That's absolutely not true.
The people
that's not true. And let me
you gave out
explain to you
licenses which were legal.
You
gave out. There was something we called community mining. Now, most of these community miners, you go into the communities and they were really doing community mining.
No, so you have to really, you know that same community mining has been relaunched under a different name in this administration. So let's not try and
I am not in any position here to say that whatever they launched was relaunched.
It is the same framework as community mining. No, it's the same framework as community mining. What makes it different?
Once it was launched,
what makes it different?
Who launched it did not say that we are relaunching.
How would he say he's relaunching community mining? Can you come? So I'm sitting here to say that I'm very responsible for my words, and I know what I'm saying, and so that is what I mean. So if that's basically the framework of what you are doing is community mining. You've just changed the name. I'm saying that you can quote me on that. So what I'm saying is that, number one, in your own 120-day contract, you said ban illegal and new mining in forest reserves. That would, you expect people to believe that you are going to repeal the LI. You have a super majority that you will not let Ghanaians' ears rest on, but it's not something you've been able to do to repeal the LI. Why? That's the first question. That's the first question that the people of Ghana have for the NDC. Number two, with your new, do you know how long it took them to pass the gold board bill? No. Do you know how long it took them to pass the gold board bill? Do you think if the NDC government wanted to repeal the LI, it would have taken them 8 months? Are we trying to say that's how lax and inefficient the government machinery runs? No, it's a lack of will. So let's move on. There's no way around this repealing of LI. It was in your 120-day contract. You sat down and said, in my first 120 days, when I come into government, I see myself as having the capability to repeal this, and you didn't do it. So we obviously have to hold you responsible for that. What the other question that I always ask is that, what new approach are you bringing to this fight against Galamsey? Because it's not something that started today. It's not something that started yesterday. It's something we've been dealing with for a very long time. And how I always want to approach it is to be very consistent in my arguments. Because if you remember, from opposition in power, I've always been saying the same thing. It is like being in Colombia or being in Mexico and fighting the drug trade, and you always want to reduce it to mere politics and these people are the ones doing this. You are playing with it, and obviously you are not very serious about it if that's how you, that's the lens with which you want to handle the problem. So I ask, what different thing are you doing about it? This same administration basically has been in government between 2012 and 2016. At that point, Galamsey was there. In fact, ministers at that point said that the problem was it was overing them, so they want to put up their hands and just give up on the fight against Galamsey. So at that point, it was still very endemic. Then you go into opposition for 8 years. We expect that you have all that time to just, think about the problem and how it has evolved and how you'll be able to solve it. Then you make so much noise about it, you create an impression that it's MPP that's causing this distraction of water. So once you remove MPP out of office, the waters will clear and the rivers will be fine. But now it's become clear to Ghanaians that it's not as simple as that. Then how are you able to judge who an effective leader is? It's someone that's able to come up with some new solutions. I heard Gabriela talk about what's it called? What do people call them? Blue water guards. There were river wardens before. They were launched in 2020. That's what I'm saying. You're not doing anything new. The same old things that have been new. You come and call it something different and expect claps. That's not going to happen. So river wardens were also launched in 2020. We did a lot of things with the fight against Galamsey, and like I was telling you off air, it's something that requires money. It's a very lucrative sector. So it is easy for people to get corrupted in the process. MPP people can get corrupted, NDC people can get corrupted, because we are all human beings and it is cash, it is money. So once you want to look at it from a solely law enforcement point of view, you are not going to get any kind of results. The Nana Addo Dankwa government arrested so many people in Galamsey to the point that the sitting president came out to say that he would grant them amnesty. We're all in this country. There were over 800 cases in courts that were pending prosecution on the charges of Galamsey. It's obvious that that approach was not going to work. And so that is why we decided that we needed to take a new approach to this. And critics alike saw this and said this is something that is truly different in how we've been fighting Galamsey, and so we can see that we may get some true benefits from there. Yesterday I was just going through my phone and I saw that the Gold Board is actually hoping to implement the first step of Dr. Bawumia's plan against Galamsey. And if you would remember, we can even go back and find the videos. I've sat on this platform several times to discuss that 8-point plan, and I don't know why you're smiling, to discuss that 8-point plan. And I can see that at least now you've realized that you sat in opposition for 8 years. You didn't know what you were coming to do about this problem. You had no solutions. You were just a very effective critic, because that's easier to do. So now that you've come, if you are going to implement some of the things that a lot of people have looked at and said, this is a way we could do this, at least give some credit where credit is due. Because one of the problems that we identified with this whole fight was the whole idea of people going prospecting, and I'm sure that's what is happening right now. And so that also draws in this problem of licenses. If you are a large scale miner, like a small to medium scale mining, you've done a little more research before you go. But a lot of places where this Galamsey goes on, they just see a bare concession. Sometimes it's even concessions that somebody has already started mining and left. Then they go there and they start panning and they are destroying the river. So it's not always that it's like an organized group of people. That's what makes it so difficult to fight.
No.
That's what, no. Which part is no?
Now, Galamsey. I won't even say Galamsey, because Galamsey in itself is even not illegal. If you check the real origin of the name Galamsey, that is what you just said. But now, what we're dealing with is illegal mining, which has been now organized. Because people are mining under the pretext of having licenses.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's not the full scope of the problem. Have you seen the people mining under their beds? The
difficulty of our problem today is that those who are mining have gotten the sites given to them. They are now mining. In fact, we even have one of the requirements that you're not supposed to be mining 100 meters close to water bodies. Yeah. Even that one, I think it is hogwash.
I don't even think that I think it's hogwash. Looking at the problem holistically. Have you seen the people that are mining under their
involved in illegal mining, whether you like it or not, are the ones holding the licenses?
No, I do not absolutely agree with you. I don't think they are the entirety of the problem, because you've seen
I'm
videos.
not saying they are the entirety, but they are the major part.
No. Those most of the people that are holding their licenses are easier to to keep in the regulatory bracket. Why is the NDC government, even with their confused approach to Galamsey, why are they trying to establish more satellite offices for Minerals Commission so that you can better monitor those that you've given licenses to? The problem is the people not.
The idea was setting up more offices.
Yeah, they're setting up more. They're trying to decentralize the Minerals Commission thing.
Setting up offices of Minerals Commission
to better regulate the sector. You are not even letting me learn to understand what I'm saying. It started under us. Yes.
What are you talking about?
No, so it's something they've continued. Why? Because you've given out licenses, you have to be able to monitor them. You cannot just say you will not give out licenses because people will go out and mine without your license. That's one thing you have to realize. We've seen videos of people mining under their beds, mining under public toilets and things. They really do not need to come to you for a license before they take their pickaxe and go to the ground and start doing things. So let's not overhype this license matter. So I was talking about this issue of getting the geological survey to actually do the research and find where the minerals are so that people do not go about this try and error business. I am quite happy that I'm seeing a different approach by the NDC government where they are beginning to listen that the way they've been fighting this thing is not working. And so let's follow who know road. Let's look at who has come up with a different plan as to how to tackle this matter. And I'm quite happy that they are doing that. I hope they're able to implement it effectively. And lastly, I'm hoping they can give credit where credit is due.
In the words of SUBCRIBE, we cannot take advice from people who run brothels because we are not in the brothel running business. I mean, we cannot be taking advice from the NPP on how to fight Galamsey.
Oh, but you're using our policies?
We are not using your policies. We have our own policies. These are one of our for the Central Religious Manifesto. If you want to,
I have your manifesto here, and there's nothing there about using geological survey. There's nothing there. I can read your manifesto on mining to you.
We are talking about.
I think they are just lying. Let her finish.
We're talking about the NPP owning using AI and all kinds of
geological survey.
No, have you seen the gold boss approach? What I just explained.
I'm saying that are you as MPP owning geological survey?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said, and you do not misconstrue my words. I said using the geological survey to essentially put.
But you just told her that.
No, she knows exactly what I was talking about. Gold Board's plan to use the geological survey to show people exactly where the gold is.
Let's trying to say that geological survey was not your idea.
No, how can you say this? Using them to actually prospect for all of this so that you go. No, so tell me that now you can go to the geological survey and they'll show you that this is where the gold is. So why has Gold Board just launched it? Why do we always do this? You didn't see the press release of them saying that they. No, we are now putting them to use in that aspect. Are you also sitting here and telling me that they've been doing that? They've been prospecting for the illegal mining sector.
Are you saying that right from say Kufuor's days till now, no leader has mentioned geological survey?
No, that was the question. Not mentioning geological. Anybody can mention geological survey. And to use them in this way to do this work.
And did you use them?
I told you at the end of my very long submission. No, let me learn. I told you that at the end of my very long submission that we fought the fight for a long time and we learned a lot of things. And so that was one of the ways that we were going to pivot. Yes, that's the same way. The NDC was also.
Please do well to like, comment and follow. Put on notification bell so get all our news one by one. Thanks, my people.